Mic check, we on.
We on this thing? We ready?
Yeah.
All right. We getting it. Let's go.
Let's get it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only Anthony Smith, and I'm sitting here with my guy.
Yo, P in the building.
And this is your weekly dose of photo and video news over here at Chop It Up, man. I miss y'all.
Man, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's been a long time, right?
It's hard to get back in the groove when you just got so many grooves to get back into because you're doing so much. But that's what today's episode is going to be, is about getting in the groove and when to start something.
Right. We're going to touch on the trials and tribulations of starting something new.
Basically, how do you know when to go? How do you know what to do? How do you know you're doing it right? There's just so many questions that come along with starting something new, and especially when it's something that you don't have any experience in.
Right. I think for me, I've definitely taken a couple leaps around and in my careers. I guess you can say everybody calls me a Jamaican because I do.
Yeah, man.
I do a handful of jobs, but I more recently this past year I took and I made videography more primary as like what's gonna feed my kids. So definitely was scary. I can tell you, closing a gym down to pick up a camera is definitely it's especially when you got two mouths to feed and you got the rest of the family to worry about and everything like that. You got to sit and you got to think. But some of it is, man, for me, it was the same way when I jumped into a gym. I signed my lease and I didn't have enough money to even buy my equipment for the gym. A lot of people don't know that. I just went off of faith. It's the same thing that I did when I closed the doors. I didn't really question God on it. I just shut the doors and ran with the camera, and everything's been falling in place. But one thing I would say that no matter what you're going to do, if you're looking to jump into the field, man, you have to do it with confidence. You can't come into this thing half stepping because you're gonna get stepped right on out the game. You definitely have to. You got to understand that no matter what you put out, somebody's not gonna like. You're gonna get criticized on everything that you put out, and you just got to stay true to you and know that you got a crowd that's gonna be rooting for you out there.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Well,
you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. No matter what I do, I like to make sure that it's somebody out there hating on what I'm doing, and that's just letting me know that I'm doing something right. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many books, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, no matter how many friends you have tell you that you're doing a good job, you're always going to second guess yourself and what you're doing. But what it reverts back to is practice. So the more you practice the craft or whatever it is that you're getting into, the better your overall quality is going to come out, because you're going to get into a sticky situation. And what are you going to do? You're going to revert back to what you know. Right. So the more that you practice, the more you're going to have the ability to make the step backwards work out.
So what do you feel at? Do you feel like you should jump for something like after you, so you feel like you should invest in it first all the way before you jump into something? Or
no, you still want to get your feet wet. We've been doing this I'm still part-time. I'm still having fun with it. You know what I mean? But if you look at the gear, I'm full-time invested.
You fully vested, that's for sure.
Full-time invested. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, P has the practice, and it just comes with shooting gigs, and sometimes you don't need the technical knowledge to get the job done. You can figure it out off of look, off of feel, and off of go and drive. So I don't feel like anything that you think that you want to do, you need to just jump off the roof and do it, as they say. Get your feet wet a little bit, and if you still feel like you have that passion, you still have that same desire as you did when you first got into it, then it may be time to go. But we're all adults here, you know what I mean? Like, don't just leave your kids behind and the bills need to be paid,
Right.
and this and that. Like, you still have to be an adult about the situation and when you decide to make that move. So if you have a 9 to 5 and you're planning, you have a 9 to 5, you got a family, and you're trying to jump off into a film career, build your clientele, like bust your ass and work them long hours on top of working your 9 to 5, and build the clientele base. So when you do decide to leave, you have a little bit of something that is, some form of stability, before you just jump off the roof and then just go all in at it, And I would say keep a lot of those 9 to 5, like ways of going about, but just spend the time into your own business. And what I mean by that, because the words weren't coming to me, is if you had to wake up at 5:30 to go to work, then you still need to get up at 5:30, maybe even an hour earlier, for your own business, because now it's for you. Don't just, you have your own business, so you set your own schedule. So now you're waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning every day. It ain't gonna work, dog. You gonna fail.
Right.
And you gonna end up back at a 9 to 5 where somebody's telling your ass to get back up at 5:30.
Right.
So keep that same energy, but just give it to yourself.
100%.
And reap those benefits. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I can say about P is, from the 9 to 5 to being 100% entrepreneur, he's still kept the same work ethic and doubled down.
I think it's just, it's just a little more, it just feels a little bit better when you know that you're earning that dollar yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially when it's backed by like a passion. Cause like shooting cameras and shit, like we were doing that for free. Like 100%. So to be able to,
for free, I was begging to pull up.
Right.
I remember getting turned down. Like, nah, we cool. And I'm sitting there like with my little gear bag, and I'm like, damn,
right.
I ain't even trying to charge them, and they don't want me to pull up.
I think going from that to being able to sustain a household, like that shit is cool as hell. Like,
For sure.
And I don't take it for granted, like at all. Like it's definitely just anything. I mean, anybody that's chasing a passion and you're able to apply some money on the back end of you doing what you love to do, has to know what that feels like.
Right.
Like, and it's just
and guess what? That job ain't going nowhere.
Right.
As many as you're gonna lose your position, you're gonna lose your seniority. But guess what? If you were a good employee, an employer will always hire a good employee back.
Right. And I think that's the part that's like, I still don't have fear if I ever needed to get back into the workforce. Like, I'm not worried about that, but I'm so like driven on, like, I'm not going back to that it just ain't, nah.
So one of my biggest fears is, prior to all of this, I had a business, and business was going well, just like anything else does when you put your all into it, and the economy crashed. That's something that you cannot account for. You know what I mean? And maybe there is a way to account for it, but at the young age that I was, there was no accounting for it, because we were making money and we were spending money, and I'm trying to grow this business. So I'm doing my best to invest, but still be young and not just living at work, basically. You know what I mean? I'm still going out and I'm still having fun, but it was doubling down on work. And when the economy crashed, it was just like, kind of had to go back to that 9 to 5 and figure it out, and losing everything and having to, scratch yourself all the way back up from the bottom. I mean, I was lucky that it happened to me when I was young and I only had one child, but now it's like I got two kids, I got a girl, we got a mortgage, you know what I mean? Like the loss is greater. I still lost my home, which I owned back then. I still lost my car, which I owned, but I remember that feeling and kind of being ashamed, you know what I mean? And even though it was the economy crashed and there was so many hundreds of thousands of people that were going through the same thing, it's just like always in the back of your head, like, this might work, but then what happens? Because in all actuality, what we do is still a luxury. People can get married every day, but 100%. They don't need a videographer there. They don't need a photographer there. This is a luxury. And what's the first thing that goes when money gets tight? Luxuries.
Right.
So it's hard, you know what I mean? And it's certain things that everybody is gonna have to deal with inside of themselves, you know what I mean? And you know, it's case by case basis. But if you feel like you got a good go at it, then go at it, you know. And especially the younger you are, you may not have any kids, you may not have a girlfriend. Like when I say that, I mean like a girlfriend that you could see as a wife later on. Like she's just your girl, you know what I mean? But don't let that situation hold you back because.
Nope, you're gonna kick yourself in the ass if you half step on your dreams, man. The last thing you want to look back at is be like, damn, I wish I should have did that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I'm able to do so much of what I'm able to do and still maintain a quote unquote 9 to 5. And my boss, he wanted to be a freaking guitarist, and that was his dream, and he felt like he could have made it, and da 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 da. So he kind of lives through me. So by him allowing me the time off to go do what I love, he gets like a relief inside of himself to be able to see somebody else do what they love to do, even though he's stuck in the situation that he put himself in. You know what I mean? So blessing in disguise, I guess.
Yeah, man, and you know, kind of touching on with the economy, everything that dropped. You know, everybody got hit hard around those times. For me, you know, folks are always like, I've heard, I don't know how many times, like, P, you're going to overload yourself. P, you're going to do this. P, you're going to do that. And I'm like, no, man, I'm securing that I got work no matter what the hell happens, you know? So for me, I looked at the work field and what I was going to do and how can I sustain everything together, and just, it all just kind of ties into each other. So personal training works straight into DJing, and DJing works straight into photography, and photography works straight into videography. So no matter how that stuff cross and all of that, they all feed each other, and they all give me references to each other. So I'm able to, you know, sometimes of the years it's like, is P alive because I'm so damn busy, but other times of the year, you know, I was able to like save up, and I'm able to, you know, kind of chill a little more, you know,
right?
And that's when I use time to grow, you know, and gain more knowledge, because I know that wave's gonna come right back. So I you know, I keep a journal on all my gigs and everything like that, and I'm like, well, what can I do to maximize my time a little bit better, knowing that I'm that busy, and like, how can I organize myself better so that this can work better with this? And you know, you just always got to look to keep growing. Or you're especially like with being an entrepreneur, like the economy will shift on you. Like sometimes you got to get creative with how you're going to like, no matter if the economy shifts, like your mortgage ain't, you know, like it's going to, like your bill, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff's going to stay there
every month.
So like, if you're going to jump into something, and especially like something where you're doing like a luxury, you want to stay ahead, and you want to make sure that you're going to be prepared for if something does slip again. And it still happens, even with the economy booming right now. Like you'll still get somebody that, you know, they're just not getting married anymore.
Right.
So even though they gave you your deposit or whatever, you're still not getting that back half of it, because now the event's not even happening. So now what you going to do?
Cancellation.
You know what I mean? So it's you know, you don't want to be a dickwad all the way and just be like, well, you still owe me the full amount. I mean, because you're not doing the full job, you know. And if they give you enough time, then you know you want to be a decent human and still be chill
and understand,
right?
Because things happen,
life happens, man, and there's gonna be times that you got to cancel.
Yeah,
you know, and that's just reality. Like
my daughter's sick. I'm sorry, there's nothing I could do. I don't care who's getting married.
Right. Period. Sorry, I can't make it. You know,
I'm going to do my best to fill that. And that comes back to something that we had on 3 or 4 episodes ago of surrounding yourself with like-minded people and people that are in the same industry, you know, because if something happens, and hopefully P's not busy, hopefully my brother's not busy, there's somebody that can cover that gig for me.
Right. You get the same quality. Like, you know, it's like I was still there, you know what I'm saying?
Because
so it's right.
9 out of 10 customers, you know, if you have, and especially if you have a relationship with the client, it's going to be easier to talk to them because they're going to be more understanding of the situation. The other clients, they don't really have a relationship with you. They want a video of high quality, and that's something that you were able to provide. And if you're sticking a friend, a partner, somebody that can give them exactly what they hired you to do, they ain't going to care.
Right. They're not tripping on it. You know, and Yeah. Yeah.
So another thing that P touched on, but in a different form, was you got to make sure that you're eating off of multiple plates, because when one stops, P never felt the wrath of that. Like, everybody's like, oh man, well, personal training is slowing down because of this, this, and this. And he's like, oh, it is?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, because it's so much going, and he's eating off of so many different plates, that it's like when one slows down, the other one picks up. And that's what's dope about the video and photography thing, because you almost have the same gear. You know what I mean? So it's like, I may book 3-4 video gigs this month and no photography, and then the following month book 5 or 6 photography gigs and no video. So it's working with one another, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
right. And to me, it's like,
with staying in the same industry, it's not like, you know, like the way that people saying with the personal training, the DJing, all of those things, even though they don't seem like they work together, they do work together. Because when you're working out, what are you doing? You're listening to music, you're conversating with these clients. Guess what? They're like, hey man, I'm looking for a DJ for blah, blah, blah. Huh. Not only do I personal train, but I DJ. So there goes, you know, case by case, coming off the same plate.
Right. And you know,
or a different plate, I'm sorry.
Right. And you know, that was like hella strategic, like on my end. When I first started, I ran with DJing first, because that was the first thing that I was comfortable with. Like, what can I do? You know, I could either jump back in this workforce, or I can chase some dreams.
I love music. I love to dance.
Right. So I'm like, I'm fucking with music first. So that I let that get, and then, you know, I got decent at that to where I was good enough to where I'm like, okay, I don't have to put as much time into that anymore, as far as the at home, the behind the scenes stuff. Got that stuff down, do. Boom, then I've jumped into personal training. So now those two started tag teaming each other, and I'm like, cool, you know, got that, you know, and then, you know, then I started introducing the photography and the video, and, you know, it just kind of just overtook everything else. And I still do all of them.
He had the cheat code. He started off doing the video and the photography for himself. Like, if it wasn't me and him, he was doing it for his clients. So he was able to critique and grow his business in that same aspect. But on top of that, on top of growing the personal training business, he's training himself how to become a better videographer, how to become a better photographer, but at the same time, while getting paid off of a whole nother plate, which was personal training.
Right. It definitely
triple dipping. Y'all better pay attention here.
It definitely helped out that my clients, they understood what I was trying to do. I was trying to grow my business, and I needed to learn how to grow, like, use a camera. And
and what client that's in personal training doesn't want to see their results? You know what I mean? And that's the best way of seeing them, is through a photo or through a video that happened 6 months ago.
Right. And, you know, like, it if it wasn't for them, I definitely wouldn't have, it wouldn't have happened the way that it did. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened, but it wouldn't have happened the way that it did. And they, you know, they had my back, they had my full support. And, you know,
and that became a family.
Right.
And, you know, family helps one another out. You know what I mean? Or that's the way that it's supposed to be. So as you're sitting there, personal training, big words, personal training, you are becoming friends, a family. You know what I mean? So when it became, oh, P does photography, they're not going to look to another photographer. They're going to come to their friend and their family, their personal trainer first.
Right. And, you know, it definitely was, it started going there, but, like, I've always been in the business of with, like, being an entrepreneur. You don't expect your friends and your family to hire you. If you do that, you're gonna fall on your face, and you're gonna be upset. You're gonna be mad at friends. You're gonna be mad at family. You're gonna feel like everybody should give you their dollar. Blah 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 blah. That's not how you need to look at it. The way that I you know, I can't say I didn't do that at the beginning, because, you know, you just think, like, you post some stuff, and then you're like, you get all these supports, you get a hella likes, all kinds of comments. You know, that's just people supporting you to just go chase your dream.
Moral, not dollars.
Right. And they're just telling you, like, hell yeah, go after that shit. Versus, I'm going to pay you. Now that you got to earn.
Yes.
That you got to earn, and you got to earn by the quality. So I stopped focusing on why the fuck people ain't booking me, like, as far as how many I'm booking. That I know, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna focus on, I'm gonna keep working hard and I'm gonna keep putting out quality and knocking y'all over the head until you have to book me.
Yeah.
And that's all I started focusing on. I need to figure out what I need to start doing to grab y'all attention.
Hello.
Why are you booking somebody that lives 80 miles away from me? We're in the same damn city.
Yeah.
Let me figure
hashtag 760 love.
Right. Let me figure that out. You know, and then that you know, all that plays into the role of like jumping in and making sure that when you attack something that you got something to attack. Because one of the biggest reasons I really wanted to do, like, started getting into video was I would see my friends post and they would have shitty videos out there. And I'm like, damn, man, like what if we could give them some better service? Right. Not saying like I'm looking for my Facebook friends and family to make a living. I'm not out here trying to get folks money. Not like that. You know, but if I could provide a service and I can make your memories better, why not? Why not? If you already gonna spend it somewhere else, why not? Let's keep it all in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't bother getting your feelings hurt when they continue to go outside of.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You
know
can't
what
do
I mean? You can't do that.
Eventually, if the work ethic is there, if the quality is there, the business is going to come.
Right, it's going to come.
When it does come, you have to respectfully get your rate the same way that you would charge the next person, because you've been putting in work and they've been watching you put in work, but continuously going elsewhere. So once they feel comfortable enough to come, they better be comfortable with this price.
100%.
Run me my money.
Ain't no family discounts, man. We all got kids to feed and all that. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to have to tell Edison about that family discount.
Right.
That CRB Auto, you're going to have to let them know about that family discount. And that's mortgage, you're going to have to let them know too.
Right. That's not being a friend if you asking for a discount when you know somebody is using they dream to feed a home, man. Like if you don't march into like Home Depot asking for a discount on that refrigerator, don't come in my door asking me for any discounts on anything. You know, like more than likely I'm going to give it to you out of respect of you booking me, but don't
expect it.
Yeah, right. Like you get don't haggled in this business, man. Folks will be like, "Oh yeah, that's the homie. Let me get the homie." Look,
yeah.
What you mean, bro?
MP and I are both the same kind of people to where it's like people answer the phone when we call because we never want anything. So
right.
And are always so giving. So of two guys like this to be able to have to come to a standpoint and realize, you know, the homie hookup, the discount, the family discount it's all out the window.
I've been worn out, man. To be honest, I've been worn out. You know, getting
working for free,
right?
And they want the absolute most from you, your friends and family. They're gonna run you through the ringer when it comes to that edit. I'm telling you, they're gonna run you through the ringer.
100%, man. Now I'm not gonna say all of them because all of them ain't like that. The ones that that really like been paying attention and understand.
The ones that come asking for the discount are gonna be the ones that run you through the ringer. I'm telling you right now. I don't care what Pete talking about. Listen to me. If they come in the game asking for discount, hey cuz, how you doing? Cuz, you know your little cuz is getting married.
What about the well, if you do this, then I'm gonna put you on.
Get out of here with that. Listen. Get out of here with that.
Some of the stuff you'll hear in past episodes, but it happens a lot, you guys.
It happens so much that we got to continuously bring it up because when it happens to you, you just want it to ring a bell like, nah, that's not it. You know what I mean? Don't chase the hype. Don't go after the followers. Just stay consistent, man. And that's one of the hardest things to do is keeping the consistency up.
Yep. So bottom line, man, when it's the right time to jump into something and how you want to do it, shit, man, we ain't got the correct answer all the way, but we shared our perspective. And to me, I'm like, if it's something you want to go do, fuck it, man, go do it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Just get your ass
up. Add up the pros and cons
right.
and make it happen.
Go do it. Go chase it. You know, prepare yourself for it. Do some research on it. You don't have no excuses to not know what you're getting yourself into these days because everything is on the internet and everybody has a damn phone, or you can borrow your friend's phone, or ain't no going to the library no more. None of that stuff. Like research it, man, and pan it out. And even if you got questions, folks on the internet will answer questions as big as you think some of these people are, just because they got $258,000 followers. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes
They're still people.
They're still human beings, and they will ask you some questions. They will answer some questions from you. If you know, you might not. You got to understand they're busy, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I'm telling you, if you catch them at the right time, they're gonna answer you. I can tell you that. I've had it happen myself.
Yay. So we're gonna get up out of here, man. This one was a little bit longer than normal, but you know, the good topics, they're gonna go a little longer.
Yeah, hopefully you guys pull something out of it. You know, every episode that we have, man, we try to drop something that's worthy of you guys listening. Like, we ain't trying to waste nobody's time. So hopefully, you know.
And we trying to get this YouTube thing cracking. I promise, man. I got the camera set up right now.
We're actually recording today.
I don't know how we turn it out. I don't know if we're going to post it. But that's what this is all about. You know, we're trying to get there. We're going to work it out.
All right, y'all. We on out of here.
I'm Anthony Smith.
Yo, P in the building.
And this is... I did find one thing on YouTube today that ain't nowhere.
What?
One thing is nowhere.
What are you talking about?
Making a video, nigga.